You can pay over UPI with your RuPay credit card. The Reserve Bank has allowed RuPay credit cards to be linked to UPI. The National Payments Corporation of India, or NPCI, which is the creator of both UPI and RuPay cards, has issued a detailed circular last week asking banks to do the back-end linking of their UPI payments with their credit card software. But there are some preliminary issues. One, of course, the linkage of UPI and credit card software could take time. Second, not too many RuPay credit cards have been issued, more debit cards have been issued. And Visa and MasterCards, who have many more credit cards out there, are not part of this system. But to understand more about this new convenience and whether it can vastly expand the number of merchants and credit card holders, I have with me someone who can explain the system. Dilip Asbe, Managing Director and CEO of the NPCI, who has put in this system. Parag Rao, Group Head of Payments, Consumer Finance, Digital Banking and IT at HDFC Bank. Akhil Handa, Chief Digital Officer, Bank of Baroda. And Kunal Shah, Founder and CEO at Cred, the guy whom we associate with credit cards these days. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining me. Mr. Asbe, first you, if you can tell us first the purpose of this, what was your own goal in your mind, and how long do you think it will take to start?
We have launched the system with three banks now, three public sector banks. I would let Parag speak for the HDFC Bank, which is the largest credit card issuer in the country to readiness. But we know that they are very close. They are very close to go live. The other large banks, we are talking to them. Like I know that there are dates available from Axis Bank, but other banks I'm not, to be honest, aware about the dates when they will make the UPI credit card operational. Okay. But I think with HDFC Bank, three large public sector banks, and with Axis Bank going live in next 2 to 3 months' time, at least we will have a coverage over 60-70% in the current market. That's what our assessment is. We have already issued the pricing circular, so in my assessment, we should start seeing some traction Jan and onwards in terms of numbers. That's our assessment, Lata.
And what do you have in mind? I mean, what was the purpose for issuing this? I mean, we could still pay with our POS machine or the QR code at all the merchants. How does this change the ecosystem?
So, today, while there are, and the others can also speak about on this particular issue, that, how do we achieve the market expansion has been the primary objective on this initiative. And that's what I think the RBI also is thinking, that, is there a possibility to increase the base of the credit card users? While the credit card system has seen a huge expansion last 2-3 years now. I think there are outstanding cards about 78 million. But when you look at, there would be people who have the multiple cards. So in my assessment, about 40 to 50 million unique Indians would be having the credit card. With this kind of lightweight and fully digital journey, right? You can look at expanding that base. Today, UPI is over 250 million consumer base. So if we are able to get some new innovative ideas from the banks, from the fintechs, I believe that, lot of small ticket can go, right? Small ticket, or we call it chota credit, or a sachetization of the credit cards, like what FMCG did on to reach out to the rural market and expand the market, expand the segment. So in our assessment, that those kind of innovative ideas would be required to make it a credit cards or a credit as a citizen scale story. Okay. Also on the supply side, Lata, that we believe that the many small merchants have been actually excluded from this credit money, right? Technically, mostly you could see about 5 million POS machine, but about 50 million QR code merchants. So with this, the small merchants also can have the utilization on the credit money, in my assessment, and that's a that's a big boost to the small and medium enterprises, right? Because and also the small merchants, right, where the credit card today is not accepted in that sense unless they have the POS machines.
Okay. Yeah, I take your point. Merchants, it may be, though often we see merchants themselves resisting it. The bigger point is banks issue credit cards only if you are credit worthy, and that may still be a stumbling block to increase the number of users. I'll come to that in a minute, Mr. Asbe. But Parag, how ready are we to go? And I'm telling you why I got this doubt. How many RuPay credit cards are out there? What is, HDFC Bank's own number? And if the number is small, banks may say, okay, I'll do it, but there isn't so much business there. At the moment, it's a very small number. So what's your number and how long will it take?
Okay, thanks, Lata. Well, yes, I think admittedly, at an ecosystem, the number of RuPay cards relative to, the other schemes is lesser. Having said this, HDFC Bank itself issues approximately 50,000 odd RuPay credit cards a month, and that number is growing. This particular program of linking, your UPI wallet to credit cards, I think opens the space for, as Dilip said, Chota credit, which means exposing those millions and millions of customers who are doing a UPI transaction also to the availability of a credit line, which can sort of expand usage. It also therefore gives the opportunity to issue those many more credit cards to a lot more number of people who are now electronic transaction savvy. Yes, of course, I think I think banks have to evolve their own underwriting scores, etc., to be able to sort of underwrite them. Having said this, I think many of these customers will also be your own bank customers, respective bank customers. So this ecosystem, I think, will start growing as soon as critical mass of banks start sort of enable the linking of RuPay credit cards to UPI. So you'll see, I think, over the next year or so, the numbers really expanding.
And your system will be up when you think?
Pardon, I didn't get you.
When will you get the connectivity, linking your RuPay credit?
We're in the last. HDFC Bank is in the last stages of the rollout. The last minute testing, etc., of the system is going on. Please do understand, it's a reasonably large and complex back-end work, because you're actually taking two systems, the credit card system and the core banking system, and in a sense linking them together. It has to be done in a fail-safe manner. So we're in the last stages, and we'll soon roll out the first card.
Yes, and then it's also costly. At least here there is an MDR, thank God. Akhil, a similar question to you. See, I'm not at all in doubt about the digital savviness of our citizens. I pay my maid on Google Pay because she has to send her money to her village. So she insists, don't give me cash, bhabhi mere ko Google Pay karo. But will you ever give her a credit card? What is her, steady stream of income? So how does this expand the number? This sachetization of cards, will that happen because of ease of doing?
No, I think, Lata, the way to look at this, as Dilip and Parag was also touched upon, is it expands the age choices for merchants to be able to accept the credit card form factor that they were not able to. Look, and the numbers that Dilip alluded to, there are about, maybe around close to 6 million POS acceptance terminals, compared to about 10 times of that in terms of the QR codes that are available in terms of the small merchants. Now, these merchants can hence start accepting whatever credit cards are there, right? And of course, as a proportion of the population, it is a very small proportion, but still, those merchants up till now were not able to accept the credit card form factor because, POS, they would have had to get a POS terminal. The terminal is a relatively expensive proposition to maintain. So that helps the merchants in a very big way. Now, there are a range of pluses for the customers as well. But of course, the pluses are there for the customers who are underwritten for credit. Right? So for those who are not underwritten for credit, I don't see much by way of an added benefit. Those who are underwritten for credit, now they can. I mean, you would have seen POS terminals now who come with you are able to actually generate a QR code on them, and which effectively means that POS terminals were being utilized to also pay through the UPI QR system.
Got it.
Now that is no longer required because the UPI QR then becomes the acceptance.
No, I get your point. I get your point. We can expand the merchant system perhaps faster than we can expand the customer base, the credit card user base. Now, that's where Kunal comes in. Kunal, I have a negative question and a positive question for you. First, is this very useful to you? Because I think you all wear it on your sleeve that you only service the big credit card guys, and they must be Visa Master. So immediately, is this of any use to you at all? And secondly, Mr. Azbe is putting a lot of faith that fintechs will make this easier. So that point of view as well from you.
First of all, we do serve RuPay cards as well, just to clarify. And I'm having said that, more consumers coming to credit ecosystem is great for the country. If you go to history of any country and role of credit in that, I would like to point out that many countries like Korea actually give income tax rebates for using credit cards as a government. And that may be an interesting thing to study for many people. My prediction is that we are maybe in 4 or 5 years looking at death of this physical wallet. I believe that we are going to have more and more transactions happening on the phone, either through tap and pay or scan and pay, with credit being the instrument.
Yeah.
If you look at China, it started with the bank account, and majority of the customers shifted with credit behind as an instrument. So while China had an immense amount of credit card growth, it shifted to scan, and I foresee that's the same thing that's going to happen to India as well. The last point on, we must not forget that credit worthiness comes from first giving credit to consumers. It doesn't come by automatic virtue from being born.
I mean, salaried employees have a salary certificate.
You'll be surprised. If you look at the US and if you look at the history of credit cards, the first credit card was done where a city was just issued cards, irrespective of the income, with a certain small limit, and then eventually build it up on top of that. I think we are going to see immense amount of growth from so many dimensions now that the acceptance part is magically solved.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come back to you for more ideas that Mr. Azbe is also looking for. I have to take a break. Back in a jiffy.